There's a German city where the average engineer out-earns most managers in London, and rent is still cheaper than Brooklyn. It's not Berlin. Everyone tells you to move to Berlin. Cheap rent, cool startups, great nightlife. But here's the problem. Berlin has one of the worst job-to-applicant ratios for skilled professionals in the entire country. You'll love the city. You might not love your bank account. So today, I'm ranking the 10 actual best cities in Germany for working professionals in 2026, based on salary data, visa sponsorship rates, cost of living, and English language job availability. Number 1 is not the city you're thinking of. And number 4 might genuinely surprise you if you work in tech. Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly where your skill set is worth the most money in this country. Number 10, Nuremberg. Nobody puts Nuremberg on these lists, and that's exactly why it belongs here. This is a manufacturing and engineering stronghold. Siemens, Adidas, Puma, and a dense cluster of automation and robotics firms all have major operations here. Here's the number that matters. Average gross salary for a mechanical or electrical engineer in Nuremberg sits close to what you'd earn in Munich, but your rent is roughly 40% lower. That's not a small gap. That's the difference between saving aggressively and living paycheck to paycheck. The catch? English-only roles are limited outside of the big multinationals. If you're not learning German, your options narrow fast here. If you've worked in manufacturing or engineering in Germany, drop the city below. I want to see if Nuremberg matches what you experienced, or if I'm underselling it. Number 9, Dresden. This one's for the chip people. Dresden is the center of Germany's semiconductor industry. Infineon, global foundries, and a growing web of microelectronic startups are turning this into what people are now calling Silicon Saxony. And here's the part that should get your attention. Germany and the EU are pouring billions into expanding chip manufacturing capacity here through 2027. That means hiring is not slowing down. It's accelerating, right as other tech hubs in Europe are freezing headcount. Cost of living is dramatically lower than Western Germany. A one-bedroom apartment near the center runs you less than half of what you'd pay in Frankfurt. The trade-off is cultural. Dresden is beautiful, but it's a smaller, quieter city, and the international professional community is still growing. If you need a big city social scene immediately, this might feel slow at first. Number 8, Karlsruhe. This is the most underrated tech city in Germany, full stop. Karlsruhe Institute of Technology feeds a constant pipeline of engineering and computer science talent directly into the local economy, and companies know it, which means the job market here is unusually deep for a city this size. SAP has a major presence just up the road in Waldorf, and Karlsruhe itself has become a magnet for legal tech and software firms because, this is a fun fact, it's home to Germany's Federal Constitutional Court and Federal Court of Justice. Legal infrastructure created a whole secondary tech ecosystem around it. If you're in software, cybersecurity, or legal tech, this city should be higher on your radar than it currently is. Number 7, Cologne. Cologne is Germany's media and insurance capital. RTL, major publishing houses, and a dense insurance and financial services sector, think Zurich, AXA, Generali, all anchor their German operations here. What makes Cologne different from other big German cities is the culture. It's more relaxed, more social, famously more welcoming to outsiders. Cologne has a reputation within Germany for being one of the friendliest big cities for people who didn't grow up here. For professionals who are relocating without a huge existing network, that's not a small factor. Your first year abroad is dramatically easier in a city that wants to include you. Rent has climbed in the last 2 years, though. It's no longer the budget option it used to be relative to cities like Leipzig or Nuremberg. Okay, we're halfway through, and I need to flag something. The next 3 cities completely reshuffle the usual best places to live in Germany list you've seen everywhere else. If you've already made up your mind about where you're moving, I'd genuinely wait until you see numbers 4 through 1, because at least 2 of these are going to change your plan. Number 6. Leipzig. Leipzig is what Berlin was 10 years ago, and I mean that as a compliment. It's cheap, it's creative, and it's got serious industrial weight behind it. Porsche and BMW both run major manufacturing plants here, alongside a fast-growing logistics and e-commerce sector, because Leipzig sits in an ideal position for distribution across Central Europe. The number that should stop you. Average one-bedroom rent in Leipzig is still close to 35 to 40% below Berlin, while salaries in manufacturing and logistics management are catching up fast. This is a city where your money goes further and your career doesn't stall. If you're currently living in Leipzig, tell me honestly, is it still this affordable, or has it started catching up? I hear conflicting things, and I want the real answer in the comments. Number 5. Stuttgart. If you're an engineer, this might genuinely be the best city in Germany for your career. I'd put it at number 5 instead of higher purely because of livability trade-offs we'll get to in a second. Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, Bosch, all headquartered here. This is the automotive and engineering capital of Europe, arguably. Salaries for engineers in Stuttgart are consistently among the highest in the country, and the demand for skilled technical talent isn't slowing down, even with the shift toward EVs. If anything, that transition is creating more specialized, higher-paying roles. Here's the honest downside. Stuttgart is expensive, housing supply is tight, and the city itself is often described as more corporate and less exciting than Munich or Berlin. You're trading nightlife and culture for career acceleration. For a lot of you watching this, that's exactly the right trade. For others, it won't be. Number 4. Düsseldorf. This is the one I said would surprise the tech and finance crowd. Düsseldorf has one of the highest concentrations of international corporate headquarters in Germany, consulting firms, fashion and retail companies, and a genuinely massive Japanese business community, one of the largest in Europe. That international density means something specific for you. More English language corporate roles than almost any other German city outside Frankfurt. It also consistently ranks as one of the highest quality of life cities in the country. Green space, walkability, a genuinely excellent food scene. This is a city built for people who want a serious corporate career without sacrificing day-to-day livability. The downside is cost. Düsseldorf isn't cheap, and it's not going to give you the startup scene energy of Berlin. But if your priority is a stable, high-paying corporate track in a city that actually functions well, this deserves serious consideration. Number 3. Hamburg. Hamburg is Germany's media, logistics, and shipping capital, and increasingly, a real tech hub too, with a growing startup ecosystem that's quieter than Berlin's, but arguably more stable, because it's backed by old, deep industrial money rather than venture capital hype cycles. What puts Hamburg this high on the list is balance. Salaries are strong, the job market spans media, logistics, trade, and tech, and the city has arguably the best quality of life of any major German metro. Waterfront living, green space, and a cultural scene that doesn't require Berlin's chaos to access. It's also one of the wealthiest cities in Germany per capita, which tends to correlate with stronger corporate salaries across almost every industry, not just tech. The catch is weather and cost. It's gray, it rains constantly, and rent has risen sharply in the last 3 years as more professionals have caught on to exactly what I'm telling you right now. Number 2. Frankfurt. If you work in finance, banking, or law, Frankfurt is not just a good option, it might be the only option that makes sense. This is the financial capital of continental Europe. The European Central Bank is headquartered here, along with Deutsche Bank, Commerzbank, and the German operations of nearly every major global bank and law firm. Salaries in finance and law here are the highest in the country, often by a significant margin, and because the industry is so internationally connected, English language roles are far more common than almost anywhere else in Germany outside Berlin. It's also, genuinely, the most convenient city in the country logistically. Frankfurt Airport is one of the biggest hubs in the world, which matters enormously if your job or your family has you traveling constantly. If you work in finance, banking, or law, comment your industry and whether Frankfurt is actually on your radar. Or, if I'm wrong and everyone in your field is still choosing London and Zurich instead. Now, if you've watched enough of these videos, you already think you know what's coming next. Startup energy, techno clubs, the cheapest rent of any major German city, the most English spoken on the street of any city in this country. Every best city in Germany list on the internet puts this city at number 1. I'm not doing that. Because for working professionals specifically, not creatives, not backpackers, working professionals, the data tells a different story. Number 1, Munich. Here's why. Munich has the highest average salaries of any major city in Germany, full stop, across nearly every white-collar sector: tech, engineering, finance, and consulting. BMW, Siemens, Allianz, and the German headquarters of Google, Microsoft, and Amazon are all here, alongside one of the densest concentrations of high-paying corporate jobs in continental Europe. Yes, rent in Munich is the highest in Germany. That part of the reputation is true. But when you actually run the numbers on salary to cost of living ratio, professionals in tech, finance, and engineering consistently come out ahead in Munich compared to Berlin, because the salary gap between the two cities is larger than the rent gap. Munich also has the lowest unemployment rate among Germany's major cities, the best public transport network in the country, and consistently ranks as one of the highest quality of life cities in the world, not just in Germany. Berlin will always win on culture, nightlife, and English language accessibility for entry-level and creative roles. But if you're asking where should a working professional move to maximize career and financial outcomes in Germany in 2026, the answer, according to the actual data, is Munich. So that's the real ranking, 10 cities ranked on what actually matters if you're relocating for your career, not just for the Instagram photos. Now here's the thing, I made this list of the best cities, but there are German cities that consistently underperform for working professionals, weak job markets, stagnant wages, brutal bureaucracy, and I'm ranking the worst ones next. If you want to know exactly which cities to avoid before you make a mistake that costs you a year of your career, that video is coming very soon. If this helped you, hit subscribe. I'm building out the full picture of where to actually live and work, not just in Germany, but across Europe, one city and one country at a time. And drop a comment, which of these 10 cities is actually on your shortlist. I read every single one, and it genuinely shapes what I cover next. See you in the next video.